There's some confusion between console.log and the Node REPL. So in the Node REPL, if you put any kind of expression, then its final evaluation will show up as if it was being console.log. For example, if I put an expression like 2 plus 2, then what's going to happen is 2 plus 2 will eventually evaluate to 4, and we see 4. Now, let's say we have a var x equals 2 plus 2. Then eventually the right-hand operand of the assignment operator, 2 plus 2, an expression, will evaluate to 4, and 4 will be assigned to the variable x. So variable x should equal to 4. But instead we see undefined. That's because the assignment operation, the equal sign, doesn't really return anything, it just returns undefined. But sure enough, if we type out x, we see 4. That's because x evaluates to 4, because x contains the primitive data type, a number 4. Now let's pretend that the REPL doesn't just spit out the final evaluation of expressions. Then we would need to do console.log, like this. Now this is going to console.log x, but we're also going to see undefined. Why did we see undefined? And why is 4 a different color than previous? So in the Node REPL, if you type out an expression and it gets evaluated to some primitive, I suppose, you get this nice highlighting. And so 4 turns up as yellow, as you can see in my video. Additionally, console.log actually calls some under-the-hood stuff that we're not going to learn about in this class and prints stuff to the screen, but that under-the-hood stuff doesn't have the same capabilities as the Node REPL, and so that's why when we do console.log, it shows up in white. Furthermore, console.log itself is a function, and as you'll learn in this class, any function that doesn't explicitly say return will implicitly return undefined. So for example, if I write a function right now called foo that does absolutely nothing, function foo, I can call it, and it returns undefined. Console.log also returns undefined. Console.log, unlike a lot of functions, additionally does some printing. That's why we see two things when we call console.log. We see the output, which is just 4, right? X, console.log's argument, being printed to the screen. But then console.log itself evaluates to undefined because it doesn't actually return anything. Okay? Now, if you want to print something out in some JavaScript file, I've got a file called log test. So I'll make a variable var my name equals Joe. And let's say I want to print my name out. I could try just, my name. So I save my file, and let's run it. So I'll say node log test. It doesn't do anything. Nothing has been printed at all. But that doesn't make sense, right? Because I could say var, in the Node REPL, I could say var my name equals Joe. And if I type out my name, I see Joe. That's because in the REPL, REPL stands for this: read, evaluate, print, and loop. So it reads in my name, evaluates it, which evaluates to Joe, and it prints it out. And then it loops. That's what the REPL stands for. That's what the REPL does. But when you run a JavaScript file, you're not running it with the Node REPL. You're running it with the Node JavaScript interpreter, which does not read, evaluate, print, and loop. It just reads in a JavaScript file and executes it. So if we don't tell our JavaScript interpreter to print out output with console.log, then when we run a JavaScript file with Node, we won't see output. And so sure enough, again, we don't see any output. So if we want to see output from a JavaScript file, and this is going to be for your assessments, for your problem sets, you're going to have to, you guessed it, console.log. Because a JavaScript file being run with Node is not the same as running JavaScript code in the Node REPL. So again, in the Node REPL, I can do stuff like hi, or no, I can put literals like hi, I'm Joe. That's a string, and it gets read in and evaluated and printed. We didn't tell the JavaScript interpreter to print it out, we could have also done console.log hi, I'm Joe, and it prints out hi, I'm Joe. Notice it's a different color. That's because the REPL's not evaluating hi, I'm Joe. The REPL's evaluating console.log, which prints hi, I'm Joe, returns undefined, and then we see undefined in gray. Whereas if you were to print out undefined from a JavaScript file, it wouldn't be in gray. There's no coloring, right? So let's say console.log undefined. Then if I run log test now, it should print my name. But notice that my name, when it prints out, it doesn't show up in green, right? Only the Node REPL, when you type out Node and you start typing code out, only the Node REPL prints out things in funny colors. And see how it says undefined? If I do the Node REPL and I type out undefined, it's gray, see? But when I run my program, it's all printed out white. And that's because, sure enough, if you run the Node REPL, if you call console.log directly, something just shows up as white. But if you type out something, it's green. So these are kind of like differences between the Node read, evaluate, print loop and actually running a JavaScript file with Node, right? Both can run JavaScript, but things are a little different. You have a read, evaluate, print loop. That's when you type out Node. And then you have actual program files written in JavaScript that you can execute. I hope this answered your questions.